Speaking of Southside EGOTs, how special is your relationship with your girlfriend, Jennifer Hudson? That bond is, in fact, one of the biggest blessings and most significant aspects of my life thus far. I am really thrilled about the friendship and the partnership. Are you and your partner content? Indeed. I'm happy in this relationship right now. I adore how you utilize the phrase, happy place. No, but in all honesty, it's one of the things that I've discovered that truly makes me happy to see her happy. People are talking about Jennifer Hudson, who recently turned the spotlight upside down. It's possible that the seemingly ideal romance with Common is falling apart in front of our very eyes. And rumors about a new man are causing Hollywood to tremble. Look, this isn't just some light conversation. Clapbacks, concealed receipts, and unanticipated actions have the power to permanently alter both of their reputations. Common once declared publicly that they were equally yoked and referred to Jin as one of his biggest blessings. It sounded lovely. But what if their affectionate compliments were really masking more serious flaws in their relationship? It sounded as though Hudson was Alan when she characterized her happiness as calls with that man of mine. Here's the question, though. Was she the only one with that warmth, or was that delight radiating in both directions? According to rumors, a new man has entered Jen's life, and it's possible that Common was caught off guard in the most unpleasant way. While some insiders believe he hasn't even made the connection yet, others claim he learned about it like everyone else through rumors and news reports. In any case, the consequences are genuine and have already dealt him a severe blow. This goes beyond rumors about famous people. The plot is evolving into one of pride, power struggles, and a romance that degenerates into a full-fledged brawl. And believe me, fans couldn't take their eyes off the receipt once it appeared. Everyone is analyzing every look, every post, and every word in an effort to pinpoint the exact moment when things began to go apart. Because this is the reality. This explosion wasn't unexpected. Long before anyone raised their voice, the warning signs were clearly visible. Before their romance began, Jin and Common's paths crossed years before. They are both legendary figures in their own right, Chicago icons, and award-winning professionals. It all appeared to be fate. They were seen together at music concerts, charity events, and even on the same stage as if they were meant to be together. Additionally, they advanced by co-starring in a sci-fi thriller in 2024, solidifying their position as a formidable team. However, something more was simmering beneath the well-groomed smiles. Now everyone wants to know exactly what happened. Breathe wasn't simply another Hollywood production. Sparks could not be concealed on such type of set. When paparazzi began spotting Jennifer and Common in Philadelphia, Chicago, and even Malibu seeming far too friendly for just pals, the streets were abuzz by early 2023. Photos from paparazzi began to appear on timelines. The internet wasn't buying a word of it, despite TMZ's attempts to minimize it with those headlines about simply buddies. Common then appeared on the Mama I Made It podcast in July 2024. And at the 20-minute point, he became incredibly enamored. He raved about his relationship with Jin, describing it as one of the most significant aspects of his life and one of his greatest joys. He discussed partnership, alignment, and their equal yoking. Romantic on paper. However, the way he phrased it caused several people to raise their eyebrows. Supporters sensed that this was about his development rather than just their affection. No, we're not in love. The internet quickly pointed out the subtle flex, which was more along the lines of, look how much I've leveled up to deserve her. Jen's strategy, on the other hand, was completely different. She kept her remarks brief and to the point, concentrating on her music and talk program. She never gave the lengthy, gushy monologues that fans were expecting, but she did drop some nuggets, such as when she called him that man of mine, while grinning at the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival. Yes, he made a few appearances on our show, but insiders hinted to something more serious. Vice Jen wasn't happy that their relationship was being used as a publicity stunt to boost Common's reputation. Instead of being staged for cameras and news headlines, she wanted their love to remain private. She believed that genuine romance didn't have to be performed for everyone. And recall how I stated that everything would change in a single night? That's when it all starts to go apart because of what happened next, which made many wonder if Jen was done allowing other people to influence her tale. This is where the bomb fell. Immediately following the subsidence of the Grammy fervor, Common was seen sneaking into Delilah's special post-awards party in Los Angeles. Let's face it, even though there were no cameras rolling inside, Hollywood insiders cannot survive by keeping a secret. Common wasn't exactly acting like a taken guy, and word quickly got around. According to the whispers, he was moving close to a tall, model-like woman who was hiding in a booth in the corner. Furthermore, it was most certainly not Jennifer Hudson. According to witnesses, he spent the majority of the night with his arm wrapped around her, talking in her ear and laughing as if they were much more than just acquaintances. They weren't hiding at all. It appeared daring, irresponsible, and far too relaxed for a committed partner. This is where it hurts the most, though. Common himself didn't tell Jennifer about this. She saw the same headlines and whispers as the rest of us. Consider yourself Jennifer Hudson, whom he referred to as his greatest blessing in public, looking at tales of your man falling for someone else. This was more than simply betrayal to her. It was humiliation. Furthermore, humiliation is not limited to the individual in Hollywood. It's business. Jen isn't your typical celebrity. She has her own talk show, endorsements, sponsors, and strong industry contacts, in addition to being an EGOT winner. In gossip headlines, her picture is frequently associated with a model. It was more than simply a disaster. Her whole brand was at risk. Insiders claim that Jennifer had already iced him out behind the scenes by this time. She began making subtle insinuations in public, which were soon noticed by half of the industry. She pushed it farther, though. It wasn't just words this time. She was prepared to take action. Let's be clear now. No rock-solid evidence is circulating. However, Hollywood isn't exactly reliant on evidence. It is based on perception. Additionally, both groups were putting in extra hours behind the scenes. While Jennifer's team allegedly spun a whole new story that she was laser-focused on her business and her family and had no time for the problem, the Common side was frantically trying to keep things quiet. In other words, she didn't want her name to be associated with Common's turmoil. The Common's representative apparently told the media that the two are still close friends, and that the current stories are a PR gimmick, rather than an accurate representation of their relationship in an attempt to patch things up. Jennifer appeared to be playing checkmate. She refrained from hurling mud and making small talk. She just maintained her composure and self-control. As people made their own connections, her image appeared flawless due to her quiet dominance. And a tactic like that always works better than clumsy language. Contrast that with Common's strategy. He seemed defensive, rather contemptuous, and appeared to be rushing to hide his tracks. And the person who appears unconcerned almost always prevails in the court of public opinion. Here's the worst part, though. The truth for Jennifer and Common's breakup is unknown. There was no public confirmation, no joint statement, and not even a quiet "we're done." As a result, every appearance, Instagram post, and interview footage becomes a puzzle piece that fans are fixated on assembling. And then, just when it seemed like the storm was subsiding, a blind item fell, sending things into overdrive once more. That popular so-called new boo, the whispers, isn't just any old woman. It's a member of Jennifer's personal inner circle. We are no longer discussing inner circle. We are no longer discussing straightforward cheating if such is the case. This would be the ultimate form of betrayal. Calculating, intimate, and intensely private. Common has been avoiding the spotlight ever since that blind item happened. No public appearances, no new interviews, and an abrupt lull in his normally active social media accounts. The stillness seems deafening and suspicious to a man who has always felt at ease around cameras. However, nobody is discussing this section. Brands connected to Common are now keeping a careful eye on things, according to PR experts. Furthermore, why wouldn't they? Jennifer Hudson is not your typical celebrity. She is currently one of the most lucrative daytime TV hosts in the industry. She has an impact on producers, advertisers, and the type of influential people that really answer Oprah's phone. Getting caught up in ugly romance turmoil is one thing. When the individual with whom you are at odds has the industry at her fingertips, it's a completely different matter. Although the formal status of the relationship is still unknown, admirers are already crafting the story. While Common is portrayed as the endearing but predictable man repeating his old routines, Jen is being proclaimed the unbothered queen and playing chess coolly. At this point, the relationship begins to feel more like a power struggle than a divorce. According to industry rumors, Jennifer isn't doing anything to help herself relax. However, the quiet itself may be causing more harm than any retaliation could. She reminds folks who's in the lead right now every time she appears on stage looking put together and grinning for her talk show or music appearances. Additionally, his absence is beginning to resemble bolded guilt. According to insiders, Jen's staff is highly skilled. They're allowing fans and blogs to piece the story together on their own, rather than feeding the tabloids. In this manner, Jennifer maintains her position as the elegant queen. Common ends up being the one that everyone looks down on. He's still struggling with checkers and she's playing chess. However, the rumors have not ended there. According to some rumors, Jennifer may be closer than ever to landing new endorsement deals and growing her talk show empire, which carries significant financial and publicity implications. The worst part is still to come. It is not desirable for brands to be associated with a messy scandal. Common men ran the risk of losing Jennifer as well as the business side of Hollywood, where reputations are the currency if he didn't straighten things up. Then there was the noise that truly made a difference. A statement that Jennifer's close friends and family are more knowledgeable than they are admitting. Rumor has it that she has receipts that, if she ever chooses to release them, could completely upend her story. Hollywood is uneasy about that kind of quiet power because once those earnings hit sunshine, there's no turning back. In the meantime, Common's past relationships with well-known ladies are being brought back into the public eye. Supporters are connecting the dots, pointing out historical trends, and portraying him as the man who never truly holds on to love without some drama erupting. And he finds it more difficult to keep his own story under control the louder that story gets. The question now goes beyond whether they are still together. Who will emerge from this disaster untouchable, and who is going to suffer a blow that could permanently alter their career, is the true question. Because a bad headline doesn't ruin a dating night in Hollywood. It has the power to close doors, void agreements, and upend an entire empire. The tale takes a turn at this point, because Jennifer Hudson has her own talk show, which is the largest microphone of all. Industry insiders are also speculating that she would utilize it to reveal her side of the story to the public without ever naming anyone. Consider it. Millions of spectators will nod in agreement as she sits in her chair, smiles for the cameras, and delivers a life lesson about betrayal or perseverance. It was a masterclass in narrative control with no direct shots or mess. Remember that Jen is more than just a talk show host. She can shake walls with her voice as a vocalist. And insiders are whispering. She's been in the studio cooking up music that sounds a lot like heartbreak, healing, and a little bit of shade wrapped in soul. If a new track with the appropriate lyrics is released, the internet will go crazy, analyzing every word as if it were a confession. Common silence, meanwhile, is just making matters worse. Usually, he would appear through performances, interviews, or even casual posts. But just now, nothing. Furthermore, silence is not interpreted as strong in Hollywood. The text says, damage control. Because Jen has the real cards and it's game over if she plays them, fans are beginning to speculate that he might be hiding. The timing is what makes this problem even worse. With a growing number of viewers for her chat show and new interest in her music, Jennifer's career is taking off. Conversely, Common is losing ground at the exact moment when he ought to be stepping up his efforts. Producers and brands are aware of those changes. And in a field where perception is reality, such an imbalance can subtly destroy careers. This is when things get wild. Jennifer's team is reportedly split on whether or not she should ultimately drop the hammer. Some advise remaining silent and elegant. Others claim that her truth should be heard by everyone. You can guarantee that it will be more than simply a story if she decides to reveal. It will be a moment that fundamentally alters the game. Everyone is now anticipating her next move. Will she reveal secrets about her show, weave the tale into a brand new song, or leave the mystery unsolved and leave everyone wondering? Whatever Jennifer does next, it will undoubtedly involve more than simply a failed romance. Legacy, power, and establishing who truly controls the spotlight will be the main topics. Furthermore, Common is currently under a lot of pressure. The hush is becoming too loud to ignore after weeks of avoiding the limelight. Rumor has it that his team is working feverishly behind the scenes to draft the ideal answer. Here's the issue, though. Whatever he says, it might backfire. He appears contemptuous if he rejects everything. The whispers are confirmed and the fire is fueled if he confesses to even a little portion of it. He's walking a tightrope, and it's unstable at best. According to some insiders, he is thinking of turning to music, the same medium that previously enhanced his reputation. With well-chosen words that can function as both diversion and confession, a stanza here, a track there. Fans are detectives in today's environment, though, and every bar will be examined as if it were gospel. The internet will have a field day pulling him through every headline if he makes a mistake even once. Some believe he will sit down for a well-known interview, the type where he leans back, shows off his charm, and attempts to turn the narrative into a lesson about relationships and personal development. Here's the catch, though. As the calm queen, Jennifer is already being portrayed as gracefully handling this. Therefore, Common immediately loses the fight of public opinion if he appears defensive or even a little pressured. Remember that brands are keeping an eye on you. Right now, every possible sponsor is debating whether or not to have their name associated with him. It's not only love here. Reputation equity is at issue. Additionally, his stock is now unstable. According to PR rumors, he may attempt a strategic sighting, which is the oldest Hollywood ploy ever. Imagine this typical photo of buddies grinning. Perhaps holding hands with a stranger is just enough to elicit curiosity and change the course of the narrative. However, that move is quite dangerous. The truth is that Jennifer Hudson is not required to reply. Just by remaining composed, she has already won the fight of perception. Common's plays now seem to be reactions, as if he's following her story rather than taking charge of his own. Additionally, the person pursuing always appears weaker in Hollywood. The world is therefore waiting. While Jennifer continues to shine, will he typically rap his way out, speak his way out, or sink into silence? Because whatever he does next isn't simply about keeping his face intact at this point. It could determine whether his career continues to rise or silently takes a knock that no public relations team can hide. And Jennifer completely turned the tide just when it appeared that Common would be taking back control of the narrative. Forget subliminal clues and understated elegance. She leaned squarely into the spotlight this time. She said something on her talk program that shocked the audience during what appeared to be a lighthearted discussion about love and resiliency. Sometimes the person who put your heart to the test is the one you expected to keep it safe. She didn't need to, yet she never said his name. The internet captured the crowd's gasp, and the headlines went crazy in a matter of hours. Supporters were certain that she had just spoken up in the most tasteful yet direct manner imaginable. The timing is also ideal. Shortly after Common's crew attempted to advance his story, Jennifer reminded everyone that she is in charge of the stage and doesn't just play defense. She didn't stop there, though. One of her new songs in the studio, according to rumors, has lyrics that sound like the diary entries of someone who has experienced betrayal and overcome it. With that Hudson strong voice, it's an anthem of heartbreak. It's more than just music. That is a cultural moment on the verge of blowing up. Common's camp, meantime, was caught off guard. According to insiders, they didn't realize Jennifer had the ability to shade without ever losing her queenly poise, since they thought she would always be elegant and silent. And that's why her movements are so destructive. She never appears pressed or disorganized. Rather, she appears to be the woman who is speaking the truth, while still looking radiant on recording studios, red carpets, and daytime television. The worst part is still to come. Hollywood is consuming it. Networks, sponsors, and producers are all supporting Jennifer. Her brand appears more powerful than ever, but Common's name is beginning to cast a shadow whenever it is brought up. This disparity is transforming the personal conflict into a feud that will define their careers. Thus, we have finally reached the tipping point. She has been forced to play by EGOT powerhouse Jennifer Hudson. Common may attempt to respond with songs, interviews, or public appearances, but the Queen's dominance of her own stage makes every move he makes seem insignificant. Who liked whom isn't the only issue here. It concerns who becomes the cautionary tale and who leaves untouchable. And this chess game isn't finished, I assure you. What happens next will determine whether this remains a controversy or becomes a Hollywood battle that shakes people's reputations. He is said to as tranquil. They refer to him as Common. But this is the only question that remains at the moment. Did Common just make a mistake in his most prominent relationship to date someone connected to Jennifer's own social circle? Or have internet sleuths and gossip sparked this entire drama? In any case, the consequences are real, and the next public action will reveal everything. Will it be a daring display on the red carpet where everything is conveyed through body language? Another murky Instagram image that admirers analyze for secret significance? Or perhaps a surprise duet that attempts to turn the story back into romance? One thing is certain, regardless of what occurs next. Whether this story finishes with a complete collapse or a rebound will depend on how every aspect is examined. I'd like to hear from you now. What are your thoughts? Is Jennifer Hudson's relationship with Common officially over, or do you think this is just a ploy for publicity? This is a real-time power play, not simply Hollywood drama, so share your thoughts in the comments section below. Additionally, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications if you don't want to miss the next twist in this story. I promise that you will want to stay tuned for the upcoming update. See you in the upcoming